Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I thought we would have a look at some news items I wasn't able to get to over the last few days, just because, to be honest, this week has just been insane. Gaijin have released so many things. This area is always just insane in terms of what they generally do, and therefore sometimes things take priority. So, in this video, we're going to have a look at the devblog for the JH7, and also we're going to have a look at how Gaijin are introducing payment plans for some of their products, which is just wild to think about. So first of all, we have the devblog, right? So we've already had a look at these vehicles on the dev server. Basically, you have a JH7, which is going to be in the standard tech tree. It's a slightly worse version of the JH7A that's already there, and it's going to be a rank 7. And then you have a premium version of the standard JH7A, which they are naming a prototype. It's basically exactly the same as it, apart from they have put the premium tag on it. Also, it's going to be at rank 8, which is quite nice, means that you can grind out the whole of the tech tree basically by itself. If you want to pick up the JH7A prototype, I'll leave a link in the description and also in the pinned comment section so you can pick it up and you can get yourself some cool stuff. Basically, you can get the JH7A itself, the premium aircraft fully spaded. You can also get the premium account for 30 days, 3,000 Golden Eagles, the Flying Leopard title, and then also the Flying Leopard decal, which looks like this, which I generally think actually looks quite nice. Looks pretty historical for Chinese stuff, and also just has some cool like clouds in the background. So yeah, looks a lot nicer than some of the other ones that we've seen recently. Now, the vehicles are pretty similar to the JH7 that's already in. The big difference is the standard JH7 doesn't get any ground-guided weaponry, whereas the JH7A prototype does, alongside the standard JH7A. So the JH7 gets the PL E2 missiles, which is funny. They call them jam-resistant, which I think is one of my favorite terms when it comes to missiles. They're jam-resistant. Basically, they're able to defeat flares, is pretty much the way of doing it. The classic way of saying that is IRCCM, or infrared countermeasures, and that's what they're able to do. The JH7 standard also has access to a anti-ship missile, the YJ-83K. We're going to have to see how that actually goes in the game. Generally, when it comes to anti-ship missiles, they're not very useful, but as Gaijin have been expanding more and more anti-ship stuff, and also just ship stuff, you know, adding carriers and also destroyers to pretty much all of the air maps, maybe they'll actually come into use at some point. Also, the standard JH7 has a bunch of freefall bombs and drag bombs and also rocket pods. As I said, unguided ordnance for its ground striking capability. The premium JH7A is basically, as I said, the standard as the JH7A. So it has the KH-29Ts, which they're giving to the vehicle. They're adding 4 of them alongside a thermal targeting pod, which the standard JH7A will get 2. And then also it gets the PL-8 and also the PL-5E2 missiles. So once again, just a very powerful IR loadout, and also the KH-29Ts. So this gives access to China, a high-tier ground premium, well, a CAS premium that they can use in ground, so you don't have to grind through the tech tree. It's very, very similar to the JH7A, though. So if you don't want to buy this, that's fine. You can just grind out that one. The JH7s are really annoying to grind, though, because they're really high BRs, because Gaijin decided to give them these really powerful air-to-air missiles, but they're only IR missiles, so they're a lot more short range, and you usually add a BR where most people are using semi-actives. So it just puts you in an awkward position to be able to use it, and that is why it's really annoying to grind. But with a premium version, you don't have to grind it, so you don't have to worry about it. The KH-29s are really good missiles. Everybody goes on about how good the KH-38s are. The 29s are also incredibly good, especially since they're a step below, and therefore they go against AAs that aren't as strong. So yeah, China's getting a good CAS aircraft here to basically use, and it'll be good. The next piece of news, so this one is wild, and I think I kind of speak for everybody when it comes to this stuff. So in terms of the In terms of Gaijin, they've never really done a subscription service. They've never really done payment plan services. But it seems like for the CIS region specifically right now, along with Pixeltorm, which is basically the payment provider for the CIS region, let's do a bit of a backstory first. So about a year ago, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, Gaijin created a new kind of area where you could register your accounts, and this is the CIS region. So you could migrate your accounts from the, let's call it, global accounts area and migrate them to the CIS area. This is because uh, the publisher of that area was different compared to Gaijin. And the reason for that is so they could modify how much people have to pay for stuff and also follow regional laws. It's the same reason why they work with DMM for Japan, the same reason why in the past they worked with Tencent in China. The idea is certain areas of the world basically have different laws that you have to abide by. So therefore, instead of just making one product which has to abide by all the laws, what you do is you make individual pieces which follow those laws of those areas. So it just means that you don't affect the whole product when it comes to pricing and when it comes to other things, right? So the CIS region is managed by a different company. Pixeltorm is a company that manages the payments. It's a company that is run by a dude in Dubai who used to work with Gaijin and, well, I suppose now does too. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that. Dubai is a fun place. There's a reason why people set up businesses there. There's a reason why there's, once again, no comment. I'm just going to say no comment. So the more recent news of the CIS region is they have now actually added in an ability to pay stuff in installments. So you can actually purchase something for more than 1,000 rubles or 1,000 rubles, and you could pay X amount up front, and then in 2, 4, or 6 month periods, you can actually pay for the rest of them. So literally, Gaijin is giving out credit for buying stuff in War Thunder, which is wild. It really is kind of insane that that is actually happening. And as it says, you can use a debit or credit card from any Russian bank, because obviously this is designed for the CIS region. So if you are in that area of the world, it's usually actually better to use this service. But if you're outside of it, please don't, because it can limit you from other areas. You may, right, when it comes to War Thunder, you will get told by people, hey, you should sign up for DMM, or you should migrate your account to CIS region because the prices are cheaper. And yes, the prices are cheaper, but you lose out on everything else. So the individual like premiums may be cheaper on the store, but then you lose access to a bunch of other features that you have on the international server. So just if you are from that region, migrate your account to it. If you're not from that region, please don't, because you will just get your account annihilated and you won't be able, after a time, to be able to push it back. So just please don't do it. There's been so many people who their accounts have just been nuked because technically it's also against the rules to use this regional area if you're not from that area. Because guess what? Gaijin will just do you for trying to skirt around rules when it comes to all of this stuff, and your account will just get banned anyway. Happened a lot with the War Thunder DMM stuff and also many others. So with Pixeltorm, you can literally get installment plans, and I wonder if this is something which is either showing the economic state that we're in, or whether it's just the fact that Gaijin feels comfortable with these things. I don't know whether there is actually going to be like percentages. I don't know if there's going to be interest when it comes to these types of things. There isn't actually anything to talk about here. If it's a 0% thing, then that would be wild, because basically Pixeltorm themselves just lose money. And imagine having to go after somebody. Imagine having to go and talk to debtors to try and get back, the money that people have actually put into War Thunder and just run away with. Like, imagine them, basically nicking your couch or your computer because you ran into so much debt with this Gaijin product. And that's just kind of wild to me. Like, that it's just insane to me that this exists. But then again, bad credits and also bad debt is on the rise. And you may have seen there's a bunch of companies in America right now which are offering payment plans for ridiculous things, like literally hot dogs or going out to a restaurant. And they're also not being very stringent in who is actually, they're giving these technical loans to. And it's actually biting them in the ass. There is millions and hundreds of millions of dollars of bad debt at the moment, and everything is just going to collapse eventually. But I suppose if you want your instant gratification and you don't have the money to purchase it, you can get it in the CIS region now, and then in a few months, you can pay the rest. I really despise credit. I can't stand it. I hate the credit system. I think it's awful. It's demonic. It's all of the wonderful things that you can say negatively about systems. Just puts people in stress, puts people in negativity, and it's just terrible. But welcome to War Thunder. It's back. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.